All right, welcome everybody. It's Monday, so 2 days after Carolina Carnage. And for those of you who didn't catch the live replay, I don't know if I'm gonna upload them to YouTube or not. I did a Facebook Live with Nick Johnson the night before, so Friday night. And I did an after action report, same thing, Facebook Live, Saturday night. So anyway, recap. I went 1 and 2 on my right, open 220, and I went 0 and 2 on my left, open 220. I will say this, the only person that I think I could have hung with at all that I lost against was Gage Boswick. He's too much for me right now, but I think that I'm closer than my performance showed. No excuses. But of course, whenever anybody says no excuses, it sounds like one's coming. And it might be, I don't know. Round 1 or draw 1, I drew Ryan Belanger, who's now ranked 12th in the United States, 220. So just keep that out there. You know, I felt decently comfortable in the setup. I talked to him afterwards. He said my hand felt really, really strong in the setup. When we got into the ref script and he clamped, I knew I was screwed. Honestly, ego took over at that point, and I just said, you know what, I'm going to give it everything I got anyway. I figured if I could get to the straps, I might be able to at least slow him down. I didn't really have much of a hope to win, but I figured if I got to the straps, at least I'd be able to slow him down. And as I did, all I did was kind of open up. I never actually got my hand to move. All I did was open up my bicep and just, you know, slam straight down. But it was weird the way he hit, the way all of that happened. I don't get an arm pump very easily. It usually takes like 10 plus minutes in the rice bucket. It takes 3 or 4 pulls. Hell, I've pulled entire super matches where my forearm still feels pretty good. Like it's not blown up with blood and all of that. After that hit, my forearm instantly blew up with blood, and like I couldn't feel like I couldn't grip my hand very well. Nothing. Now I don't think I was injured, but it was just weird how everything happened in that hit. It like disconnected me from a large portion of my power. My second draw, I went up against Trevor Beatty. Super strong dude, awesome warrior. We exchanged a lot of energy before the ready go, which I love. Like, you know, when you step up to the table with me, man, like aside from like, you know, trying to break my arm or punching me in the face or something, like pretty much anything goes, man. Like you want to screw around and try to pin me, I'll try to pin you. Let's, you know, load up, whatever you. I don't care. That's a fight. Let's do it. I'm down with that. And he was more than happy to play. So it was great. It was awesome. It was just, honestly my favorite match ever. Like, and it has nothing to do with the fact that I won. It has to do with just the kind of guy that Trevor is. It was really cool. So, you know, he was happy to exchange energy with me. The first hit, I got to give him props. You know, if it was like friggin' really, really strict reffing, I probably would have lost. I don't know what the hell happened. The same thing, right? I went to go slip and my arm opened and I wound up way off the back of the pad. Thank God it was right here. If it had been here, I probably would have lost the match. But they gave me an elbow foul instead of an intentional slip in a losing position or whatever. And I was able to come back. And then I was able to connect a little bit more with my arm, and you know, he hit that press, that sideways press again, and I was able to stop him like right here, and then I just drove right through him and slipped. But again, I was really pumped up, and I didn't know why. Like my forearm started to blow up again. So, you know, I got real serious real quick about trying to nail the go and all that. And I mean, you know, I saw a lot of mistakes in my setup, which I've got to really fix. I don't make those same mistakes in practice, so it just must be a competition thing. But I saw a lot of mistakes in how I set up, where I set up, like everything. Anyway, I hit kind of a sideways 45, just a clean, crisp top roll. And, you know, normally, you know, if I'm here, you lose because my hand is in control. You know, and that's it, because my hand is my weapon. That's it. So if I'm here, you're pretty much done, usually. I don't know if it was something going on, you know, where I wasn't connected, where I honestly wasn't, or Trevor's, or a combination that Trevor's just that much of a beast, or I was fine and he's just that much of a beast. I really don't know. I wish I could tell you, because it was just a very weird day when it came to that stuff. Either way, I'm here and I'm like, oh shit, I'm not going to win this, because I felt him slowly starting to stand me up. And you know, and then he surged and I ended up here, and I'm just like, I'm starting to lose my hand, I'm starting to lose my arm, this is not good. So I don't know where it came from, but I was able to commit my shoulder and kind of do like a pseudo flop, but not really a flop, kind of right here, and then just drill him. And it actually felt decently easy at that point. So I don't know where it came from. I'm glad it happened. I'm glad that, you know, somewhere in me, I evolved on the spot, and I'll be forever grateful to him for that, for allowing me to see that part of my game does exist. So, you know, for real. Again, my favorite match because of all ever, because he's just, the way he conducted himself was just awesome. We talked afterwards, and he's awesome. I'm sure there's going to be a super match in our future. We're close. We're really close. So, yeah, it's really cool. My third draw was Gage Bostwick. And Gage is a very, very deceiving feel to him. Now, again, I have no idea if there was something actually wrong or what, but it doesn't matter. I felt comfortable. I felt good. His hand is not threatening at all when you grab him. His posture is, I knew his arm was. I knew if I got into a hook with him, I was fucked. I knew that. But I figured I'd be able to, you know, get the slip and then get into straps and then do my thing, right? And his containment on the go, it wasn't even before the go. Like, I didn't feel his fingers. I didn't feel any real threat. I figured, man, I'm coming through the top of this guy's hand. I might even pin him out of the straps. I remember thinking that. And I go to hit, and by the time I realized that I was opening up, I was already on the pin pad. I was like, holy shit. So his straight side pressure cup containment, and it wasn't even like he overcupped. He didn't. It was kind of just a flat side pressure hit with good containment, good wrist integrity, good pronation integrity, and it's kind of like Dave Chafee, just, you know, just and it was just fast. And by the time I realized what was going on, it was too late. I was already on the pad, and I was honestly in shock. And hats off to him. I mean, he felt a ton as soon as the go happened. Before the go, like I said, I felt pretty damn comfortable. So yeah, that was the end of my right. My left, I drew Ryan Belanger again. I cracked his wrist out of straps, and then in the straps, he was just too much for me. I didn't feel like I had anything for him. I feel like I'm probably a half a step below Ryan on the left. Well, no, a full step below him. Nick Johnson wound up beating him and taking his ranking, which hats off to Nick, man, because I know Nick's left is nasty. And now he's sixth in the Carolinas overall and second in North Carolina behind Brandon Moody. So that's really awesome. It's awesome. And Levi Rakowski took the open number 10 spot in the super heavyweight by beating Sean Moore, right-handed, best of 5. Great match, hard fought. It wasn't a domination either way. It was a great match. The kid showed a lot of heart, a lot of aggression. Sean showed a warrior's heart. I mean, it was a great match. I loved it. So that was my first, and then my second was Ryan Carter. Number 1 in Texas, both hands. So, yeah. So yeah, there was nothing there for me for left hand, which kind of sucked because my left actually was feeling pretty damn good. It's just the lefties that I ran up against were just super good lefties. I mean, it would have been the same thing if I ran up against Nick, either of the Ryans, Gage. I would have loved to see where I stand with Trevor. I don't know where I stand with Trevor, lefty. I never actually got to pull him lefty. I think honestly that was about it. So I think as far as the levels go in the 220 Open, it would have been me and Trevor, and then right around that same level is Dean Sane. You know, right around that same level. I didn't get to pull Dean. I wish I did. Nick beat him right-handed, and I believe left-handed as well. But anyway, yeah, I would have loved to have pulled him. I didn't get a chance to. I believe that he's just a little bit tougher, but I believe that he's doable. So I would put me, Trevor, and Dean Sane probably all at the same level. A half a step up from that. On the right hand would have been Gage and Nick. On the left, it would have been a full step up for those guys. Well, I don't know about left, because Gage hurt his left against Ryan Carter, and I know Ryan Carter was like 2 steps, 3 steps up, and I think Nick Johnson's probably a full 2 steps up on the left. But anyway, you get my point. I believe the pools were this: me, Trevor, and Gage were all, or I'm sorry, and Dean Sane were all kind of in the same pond, and then you had like a little bit above that on the right would have been Nick Johnson, Gage Bostwick, and then a little bit above that would have been Ryan Belanger and Ryan Carter. On the left, most likely me, Dean, Trevor, and then a little bit above that would have been Ryan Belanger, and then a little bit above that would have been Nick Johnson, and a little bit above that would have been Ryan Carter. I think that's how it all shook out. But anyway, I love the tournament. Mike Bianchi, awesome dude. Talked to him the day before. Yeah, my wife stepped up and took over for announcing and helped with the brackets. Pork Chop helped with the brackets, did a great job. Connor Cook, man, I got to rep with him all day. He showed me a lot of stuff in the setup. All right, so what's next for me? Well, what's next for me is either South Carolina States or North Carolina States or both. I don't know which. I'm still trying to figure that out. But what is next for me is a fundamental change in me. I got to stop being a pussy. That's what it boils down to. I've got to start putting my frame. I do have a pretty large frame. I need to start putting my frame on the line. I need to start actually committing. All I ever do is run away, and bank on my hand. So I'm basically asking my hand to do everything. My arm is never there to back up my hand. My shoulder's never there to back up my hand. My frame is never there to back up my hand. It's always hand do everything, and then, you know, I'll take over from there. So I can't keep doing it. So what I have to end up doing is now do a lot more. I'm still going to do my outside stuff because I do believe hand and wrist is most important. I do. But you need to have an arm to back up that hand and wrist. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on, is doing a lot of, like today I got straight side with my heaviest band, 50 to 125 pounds. And remember, I'm only 2 days out from the tournament. I still feel pretty good. I'm sore. We had a bunch of drunk after pulling with me and Nick at the house on Saturday. I don't think I'll release those videos publicly, but they were funny as hell. I'll have to talk to Nick and see what he wants, because I mean, we were lit, but it was fun. We had a great time. It was a good bonding moment. My wife was crying, laughing at us. But anyway, so what I'm going to start with just today is just showing you fundamentally how I'm going to be changing my posture, my setup, my changes, and what I work on. I'm going to be doing a lot more side pressure stuff, a lot more side dominant stuff, just to get my body used to committing my elbow, committing my frame, committing my shoulder, and backing up my hand. It doesn't mean that I'm going to become a hook puller. It doesn't mean any of that. I'll probably still be a top roll dominant puller, but I'm going to be able to back up my hand with my arm, or at least that's what I'm working with. So anyway, so the first thing I'm going to start off with is just get this thing stretched out a little bit. I'm going to the front left side of the pad, and all I'm going to do is just cup. And I'll do this on my left hand as well, and you know, you guys are here for the ride, so just be here for the ride. Enjoy it. Now back there, if you zoom in, you'll see what my training protocol is going to be. There's going to be volume inside, volume outside, isometrics, which are going to be overcoming isometrics, which means there's going to be a limited range of motion. I'll get set, I'll be able to pull like 2 or 3 inches, and then there's going to be a chain. And then I'm just going to push as hard as I can against that chain for a count of 10, and then let go. And I'm going to do that 5 times, and that's going to be my workout. All right, and I've already done this for like 50 or 100 reps today. I don't even remember, but it's just been a lot of blood flow stuff. Eventually this will work up in weight and all of that stuff with my volume work and my isometrics and all of that jazz. But for right now, it's blood flow. This entire week, I'm just going to be blood flow working. Now here's the big difference, okay? Normally from here, you'd never see me set up like this. You'd never see me this tall. You'd never see me this far in. Well, that's what I'm doing from now on. Now I'll end up with some supination, side pressure dominant. I mean, you could definitely still do pronation like this. And then finish off. And of course, I'll still do my riser and all of that stuff. But yeah, that's that's gonna be my weekly stuff, in addition to my riser work. And I've also been doing a little bit of wrist wrench stuff, just lightweight, just trying to get used to that side pressure curl and finger containment. It's time to stop being a pussy. I got to start committing my frame. It's time to take that next step. I'll bring you guys along for the journey like I always do. This week, like I said, is going to be band stuff. The next video is going to be me testing my baselines. We're going to do riser, back pressure, locked pronation, side pressure with the wrist wrench, and then I don't have a Mazurenko handle. So any of you feel generous and you just want to give me one, let me know, but I don't have one, which is the elliptical one for containment. So I'll probably use my Terrorist or something like that for the containment lift, just to see where my containment is. But that, I'll check those 5 pressures, right? So rise, back pressure, locked pronation, side pressure, and containment. Yeah, that's kind of the 5 metrics. If you want to know what I'm talking about, go look up Chris Drummond and his videos, and you'll see what I'm talking about. He has 5 metrics for testing your strength, and what he considers to be, you know, where you would be: amateur, pro, nationally ranked pro, world elite, you know, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So we'll see from there. If I do go to South Carolina to pull, I most likely would be 230. You know, I'll pull in the 230 pound class. It's same day weigh-ins, if I'm not mistaken. I don't see anything for the night before. So it's same day weigh-ins. I'm not going to do a cut and then, you know, try to rehydrate in a couple hours. I'm just not going to do that. August, I'll see what I feel like doing, but I might just cut down to 210 and pull there. We'll see. You know, because I got to think about the rest of the year as well, and the fact that for right now, I think I'm going to make my home in the 225 pound class in the Carolinas. So 220 to 225. Well, I should say 220 to 230. That's where I'll probably end up pulling, is anywhere between 220 and 230, depending on what the event is, okay? I think I'm going to try to make my home there. There's absolute killers on that list, whether it be the Carolinas or whether it be nationally. It's absolute killers on that list. But I think I'm going to try to make my home there. I've got a long way to go, but that's okay. I love the sport. I'm going to keep doing it. I love my team, Carolina Rollers. We're really starting to make a name for ourselves. We have 2 ranked people now in the Carolinas. I firmly believe I'm right outside as far as the top 10. I'm probably top 15 in the Carolinas right now. In 220, Levi 2 is most likely top 15. Carolinas in the 225, he's probably top 15, yeah, 225. As far as just in 198s, he's very close. He's very, very close to the top echelon of 198s. So, yeah, man, just keep an eye out. Obviously, Levi Rakowski is going to be charging up the super heavyweight list as fast as he can. I love his attitude. Give me the biggest, give me the strongest. I got to see where I'm at. I'm putting my elbow on the table. Nick Johnson's left is ahead of his right, but I do believe Nick Johnson is ahead of me right-handed, and he's probably like top 12 North Carolina right now. So he's right outside the list as well. Left-handed, I mean, he is number 6 right now in the Carolinas, number 2 North Carolina. So we'll see where he goes from there. But it's only up, because I mean, look, I'm not talking shit on behalf of Nick Johnson, okay? I'm just telling you the God's honest truth. The man took a month off, went on a cruise, focused on his life, you know, focused on his wife and his kids, and took a month off from training. Basically, did nothing. Came back, pulled a super hard super match against Jonathan Hauser, lost in a 3-2 war, basically off the couch. And Jonathan Hauser, for anybody who knows, is an absolute tank, and easily has Nick outclassed in horsepower, and Nick still made it a 3-2 war. It just shows the versatility that this man has at such a young age. I think he's 23. He's unbelievable. So, you know, I see nothing but awesome things for him. I'm 43. I've told you guys this before. I'm going to push it as hard as I can. But people like Levi and Levi 2 and Nick and, you know, all of these young bucks, man, they got nothing but a skyrocket trajectory. You know, mine is kind of more of a gentle sloping hill. But I'm going to push as hard as I can. And I love the sport. And if I can't be on the top 10, well, I mean, we'll see. But if I can't be on the top 10, I'm going to get as many of my teammates on there as possible by doing whatever I can to help them. But anyway, like I said, I'll take you along the journey, and God bless everybody. Stay strong, all right?